Hi, you're on the Retelling Films channel, and this is a retelling of the movie Miller's Girl. To become a writer and write a unique and exciting book, the girl decides to seduce the teacher, trying in every way to attract his attention. The movie begins with a luxurious view of the house and a girl with the name Cairo. Her parents like to go abroad, so she lives alone in a huge house, and only literature does not let her get bored. Cairo has one dream. She wants to be loved, and today something new is going to happen in her life. She comes to class and meets a writer like herself, teacher Jonathan Miller, with the face of Dr. Watson, who has found inspiration in this remote town. Because of the fact that Cairo comes to class before everyone else, it surprises Jonathan, and he asks where she lives. They tell each other about their lives. Jonathan is amazed that Cairo has read the entire curriculum, to which the girl jokingly replies that she likes it tougher. After which Winnie enters the office and takes her friend away to talk. While they're gone, Jonathan is looking at Cairo's books, but is distracted by Boris. He immediately realizes that Jonathan is reading a girl's book, as its plot is very vulgar. Guys wouldn't read it. By coincidence of amazing circumstances, the girl likes to read a book whose author is exactly Jonathan. He lives with his wife Beatrice, who is also a writer. He tells her that his student is reading his book. The couple begin to dance and kiss, but are distracted by a call from Amy. A new day comes. The teachers are resting, sitting on a bench and drinking coffee. Boris asks if there are ghosts in the forest, and a second later Cairo comes out of the forest and walks right up to the teachers. Boris offers cookies, and Jonathan can't take his eyes off Cairo. A little later, Winnie tries to get Boris' attention. She bluntly says she is interested in their interaction, to which Cairo calls her a lunatic. After class, the friends get together. Cairo confesses that she is having trouble finding a topic for a future book, and Winnie suggests reliving a moment that will help in writing the topic, such as an affair with a teacher. The problem is that neither of them have had a serious relationship, and Winnie wants her first date to be with Boris. Cairo should also realize that Mr. Jonathan is looking at her in a special way, but the girl denies everything. After that, the rest of the day, she reads a book that Jonathan wrote, and during class, they can't take their eyes off each other. Jonathan asks to come over after class, and Cairo's mind is spinning with the same desire to get all of his attention. After a while, Jonathan decides to dance a little, but he's distracted by Cairo. She promises not to tell anyone about his passion. Jonathan suggests going to a poetry class, in case something surprises her and she discovers something new for herself. He reads her latest work and likes it very much. Cairo burns with shame and explains what her work was about. Jonathan wants her to write a story in the style of her favorite author. Cairo accepts the assignment, complimenting that she has read his book in its entirety, then repeats some of the phrases she liked best. Standing in a stupor, Jonathan doesn't even know what to say to him. Cairo breaks the awkward pause and apologizes as Winnie suddenly walks into the office, and the duo ends the conversation. In the evening, the couple and Boris visit the cafe where Winnie works. Boris makes fun of the girl, and Beatrice wonders how beautiful the girl who has read his book is. Jonathan replies that she is very intelligent and unique. Beatrice decides to declare that he's no longer a writer. He has chosen to work as a teacher. After that day, he never wrote another book again. The next day, Cairo attends a writing circle. She feels that this day will be very meaningful to her. Seeing her, Jonathan says that he is happy to see her. A guy comes on stage and reads his piece. Jonathan listens to him attentively, but Cairo looks solely at Jonathan. Tomorrow morning, she brings coffee to the teachers. Boris shares his cookies. Cairo doesn't understand why Boris makes such delicious cookies, but he doesn't tell anyone because he could sell them. Winnie will be able to make a logo for him. After class, the girls stop by Jonathan's classroom. He tells them that he is going on a vacation with his wife. Winnie notices the duo chatting sweetly with each other, and when Jonathan comes out, she suggests that Cairo make the first move and seduce him. Suddenly, their conversation is interrupted by Boris. He has decided to sell cookies. Winnie quickly joins their team, but all she needs is his number. That afternoon, Cairo gets a call from Jonathan. He promises to stop by and see her before he leaves. Cairo reasons that when love is real, it is quiet and imminent. A couple hours later, Jonothan arrives at Cairo's house. She steps out of the house, dressed in a white dress. All Jonothan can do is stand there and watch her walk towards him. Cairo stops and asks her to come over to her. Jonothan still stands still, and then Cairo makes the first move, followed by a kiss. When he gets home, he keeps getting messages from Cairo. Beatrice is annoyed by the alerts, which forces Jonothan to retire to the barn. There he starts reading the girl's new book. Fascinated by reading, and imagines that the main characters are them. Unable to resist his thoughts, he does the dirty deed. A new day comes. Cairo notices the strange behavior of Jonothan. She asks what happened to him. The man replies that she needs to pick a new author. She states that he asked her to write a book about a subject she knows. Jonothan asks if she really knows that. Cairo replies that they do. Seeing him swept away, the girl says it's about two similar people denying social constraints. Jonothan still thinks the book is too adult anyway. The girl is sure he's too scared. They're not strangers now. He tries to explain that she is his student and he is the teacher. Cairo still wants recognition that the book is good. He just doesn't want to admit it and calls Jonothan without ambition. He could be so much better, but right now he's irresponsible. Before leaving, she leaves her story in the administration box. In the evening, the girlfriends sit together at Cairo's house. Winnie asks if she likes Jonothan. Cairo calls him like sushi at a gas station, but she likes him anyway. Meanwhile, Beatrice finds out what story his student wrote, but he won't admit who the story was written about. Beatrice manages to get him to talk about the piece. Cairo suggests that Winnie write Boris, which she does. At this time, he comes to visit the couple. Beatrice notices Boris corresponding with someone, but he does not tell who it is. The conversation between teacher and student begins to slowly turn to other topics, and Boris puts his phone away. Jonothan gets a call from the administration and is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with Cairo, but he denies everything. He realizes that if she manages to prove that they had something, he could lose his job. Beatrice adds that not only the job, and asks him to tell the truth, but Jonothan swears that nothing happened. The next day, Cairo skips class. Winnie looks very depressed. She tries to make Jonothan feel guilty, but he looks as cold as possible. Later, Cairo comes to the principal and describes their adventures. Jonothan has to defend himself. He is lucky that their stories match. When asked the final question by the principal, Cairo replies that nothing happened that she didn't like. Obviously, Jonothan does not know what she answered, and the question made him very uncomfortable. At recess, Boris realizes that Jonothan has fallen in love with Cairo. He has the misfortune of not seeing a line that can't be crossed. It is because of this that he's in such a mess. Back home, already Beatrice is asking the man her questions. She doesn't believe his lies. Jonothan could not deny that a spark flew between him and Cairo. That was the final straw. Beatrice is going to file for divorce. Winnie goes to Cairo and asks her not to hurt Jonothan, because it would ruin his life, just to get back at him for rejecting her. Winnie says she will stand up for Jonothan and tell the director that Cairo is lying, to which she quickly replies that a friend can't do that. She has dirt on her and Boris. Afterwards, Cairo finishes writing her book and sees Jonothan sitting on the steps saying hi to her. She looks at him and just smiles silently, and that's when the movie ends. What do you think about this movie? Write your thoughts about the movie in the comments. If you liked my short retelling, then put likes and subscribe to not miss new videos. See you soon.